Oh man, do I have a treat for you guys. We're gonna test something out. It's a nice, bright, sunny day. It's a little bit windy, but I think we should be able to pull it off today. Let's give it a try. So we are going to test our nice, beautiful solar panel with our EcoFlow power station here. All right, so this is the cord that came with the EcoFlow unit, and this is the solar panel. Now, I haven't really shown you guys the solar panels. Again, this is an EcoFlow solar panel. You can connect any solar panel to this. And this one is nice because it's nice and portable. Let me show you. Now, this one contains monocrystal silicone cells. Now, you might be thinking, man, this is going to be a little lethal. It's going to have glass. Well, this is what's going to shock you. This ain't your grandmother's solar panel system. This is what is really exciting because it makes it so portable. This, if you're camping, is really what you want to have on your roof. Not any of those big, bulky glass units. If you hit a bump, it's not going to shatter. And it folds up in this little case. You want to make sure that it's angled to the sun. The sun is up there somewhere. So the sun's going to be traveling down that direction. It's going to be setting that way. So that's why we're angling it right here. Because right now it's noon, so this should be the best angle for the sun right now. Okay, bear in mind that solar panels are live power. As soon as they hit sunlight, they are live. So don't accidentally touch both ends of your solar panel cords together because you could be in some trouble, especially if you don't have it grounded. I'm also going to say, for safety reasons, you should always have your solar panels grounded. We're just going to test charge this and see how long it takes to get this Ecoflow River Pro charged up. Okay, so let me show you what it's reading right off the bat. Alright, so right off the bat we have 30% battery power. That's what we ran it down to, and it's showing that is 38 watts right now of power. So if your wattage input isn't quite what it should be, you can always shift your solar panels around until they get up to the point where you want them. That did the trick. I'm up to 83%. Solar is always a trial and error, trying to figure out which direction is going to get you the most bang for your buck. Man, I see you're slacking off over here.
Yeah.
Thought you would have been done by now.
Doing the last 5 feet of it right now. I had to go get some more boards.
Man, look at all the chrome on that thing. It's got some serious chrome.
Oh yeah. It's like, just looks like one of them seats on them Harleys or something, or the...
The rivets?
Yup.
Man, so what did you get done yesterday on this?
Not very much. I ran out of washers.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
But I got this all side done. I ran out of washers on that side, then I got to do the middle ones.
Oh, okay. So what are you gonna do if this whole thing collapses in as you pull it full of hay? Probably that'd be a lot of hay to just dump on the ground.
Trailer fails, I'm just gonna go buy a manufactured trailer.
Well, that's what makes farming YouTube is when you think everything's great and going well, that's when you have calamities happen. And it doesn't matter what kind of equipment, it could be brand new equipment, you could still have it fail.
We only, I think with all the nuts and bolts, the trailer frame, the wood, we have like $1,000 into it.
Into the whole thing. Plus we have that extra trailer frame and axles too.
Oh yeah, we have another 26 foot.
Yeah. So I mean.
And another set of axles.
Yeah. The plan for next year. What are you doing? Alright, so I have 15 hens, and of those 15, I would say at least 10 of them are solid layers. And today's egg total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 eggs. 11 eggs. And that's almost a dozen. Pretty much, yeah. Alright, so it has been exactly 6 hours later, and I've moved the solar setup a couple different times to try to get the optimum amount. So I strive for about 75 watts on the watt meter. So let's see where we're at 6 hours later. Here's our EcoFlow. And you can't quite tell because of the way the camera interacts with the screen, but it says 100%, and the input right now is at 4. So it's about 7 o'clock right now. This is summertime, and I didn't set this out until 1. So 6 hours for an afternoon charge. That's pretty dang good. Alright, now that it's all charged up, we're gonna go put it and do the freezer test with it and see if it can run the freezer. Alright, we've got one full wall done. Time for round 2.
16.
We've got the whole rest of this stack of boards to do. They have to be trimmed both sides. They have to be dadoed, and they need to be measured, cut to size, and sanded before they can be put on the wall. So we got a lot of work to do. So let's get rolling. Cue the time lapse. And don't worry, I know several of you guys were concerned about ventilation in this small, airtight cabin with that spray foam. I had already thought of that long ago and was well prepared when it came time to look at a vent system. What I'm thinking of doing is having a low system right there to pull air in, and then that's going to pull it all the way up and into the attic up there. This is actually an adjustable vent. So you have this little nozzle. You have a nozzle right here, and it's in the off position. And if we turn this, you can actually see that it opens. See the little slats in there? the test fit. Man, I couldn't have asked for anything better. The only thing I'm gonna say is that I don't know what I was thinking. I should have bought another can, a spray foam, so I could spray around all these cracks right in there. This is up in the loft. You can see the hole. It's cut out pretty good. I definitely got a little aggressive cutting out the foam. So now what we're gonna do is silicone that. I went through and caulked around the edge. This one obviously has piles of caulk. I don't even know if this is gonna fit. Will it fit? Sure. Now, cutting a board to fit around the air vent was probably my diciest cut yet. It was a little tricky because you're not cutting it to the outer part of the air vent, but the sleeve that's just behind that. I'm not even sure how this is gonna... I don't know how I'm gonna get this to work. It's obviously not gonna slide in there. What was I thinking? All right, well, I got it and I didn't have to destroy my board. Turns out the vent does come off and it actually just slides right out. So I just started twisting, hoping it was a twist on, and it just popped out. So yeah, I did have to do a couple different cuts to get it exactly because I measured out here and up to this lip. So that's what we have now. So now I have to level it off with the door frame and get it nailed in. And as I mentioned long ago, I did more epoxy work. I was really enjoying the epoxy work and was really trying out a couple new ideas on cheating at backfills. Backfilling is where you pour in from the top, tape it over, flip the board, and then all the epoxy settles down onto the tape, which gives you a nice level line and minimal cleanup. Unfortunately, I used up all my tuck tape on the plastic walls, and it's a little expensive to order just for a couple epoxy fills, so I decided to try some packing tape along with some really old and outdated caulk. The combo was less than stellar. Alright, so this is the moment of truth. I have an epoxy board that I'm going to put a dado edge on. Or try to. So I taped the front half of the epoxy, hoping that it's not going to shatter. Here is the edge, and here's the back. Don't use packing tape. It doesn't really work the best. So use the Tyvek tape, or what do they call it? Tuck tape. Either of those two will do pretty good. As you can see, the packing tape just didn't cut it. All right, so it actually did great on the epoxy. It did have a little bit of a skip right here, but you can see it cut straight through the epoxy just like it was wood. And let's take the tape off and see. All right, so this tape is just regular masking tape. It's just yellow. It's got a little bit more stick to it than painter's tape. So this is normal from where it was before. You can see it didn't take anything off from that. It was just down below. And there's no shattering, no chipping, nothing. So that's a nice edge right there. I'm gonna break it on the sawmill. You can in fact cut epoxy edges. Alright, so it's taken a lot of work and I'm completely exhausted on Mother's Day, but I have all the walls up. They're not done, they're just up, okay? So I'll show you, then I'll explain what I still have to do. So here is where I started. I have all my extra boards here. So this is all the wood that I have left. So that is perfect. And I'll tell you what we're gonna use that for later. I'm gonna show you my corner because I am so proud of this. So this was the board I started with, my very first board. I used a board just like this one, and I used it to measure where to nail this one. And so as a result, the whole corner is absolute perfection. So some of these boards were slightly buckled still, so I had to put like nails in them, like right up there. It's a little bit bigger nail than I wanted, but that's all we had. There's some epoxy touch up like right here. I gotta clean that up. This one needs to be cleaned up a little bit more. Outlet router marks, so I have to sand that off. Like, as far as the gap, I gave up trying to have a uniform gap because it was impossible. There was absolutely no way it was going to happen. Here's my doorway. I wasn't really quite sure what to do with the edges. And then I'll probably run something at the very top edge too to trim it up, and then of course flat trim all the way around. So then I had some of these. Those went pretty good. This one especially went really good. I was able to do the lipstick edge. You can see my lipstick there. It's gonna get cleaned off. The window trim. So these are all perfectly flush. Then a faceboard here, and then trim around it, so you won't see any of this. That one came out good. The board difference here is because these are actually going to have a flat faceboard on the top, and then more boards running, I think, the long ways across up there. Yeah, so down there is one of my epoxy fills. I have an epoxy fill right there. Another window. There's an epoxy fill up there. There's my big one. And then that was a pain in my butt, but I got everything to fit. That one is just huge and gapping, but I did check that and it will fit. All right, so the light will fit over top of that. It's gonna be tight, but it will work. And if it doesn't work, then I'm gonna find something to kind of shim it in a little bit. Maybe get some sort of extra trim that goes around there. I don't know. And that one fits pretty good, but I might go through with the Dremel and just trim that down just a little bit more. I think with this one, if I square it off a little bit more, I can find some sort of trim to go kind of like inside. Because unfortunately this one just, I couldn't get that one exact. I should have split that board, but it will. There's my other cutout, another cutout, another window, and then this cutout. Yep. And then these, like I said, they're kind of irregular, but it'll all work. It's all gonna have trim over it anyway. So that is my walls. And these are raw bare wood. They're gonna be covered in an oil. So the color is gonna change. Well, put your comments down below. It's taken a lot of work. These boards are definitely like a lot nicer than what I had envisioned when I was planning this whole cabin thing. I was actually picturing kind of like a homey rustic-y cabin, but then it ended up being kind of like a girl glam cabin. At least that's what it's gonna be when I'm done, unintentionally, but it'll look sweet. So progress, slow but steady. All right, so out here in the barn, we actually have two freezers. We have a chest freezer and we have a small upright freezer. Typically, when you want to connect an appliance into any sort of generator unit or battery generator unit, you want to check the wattage, how many watts it's going to draw. Again, this is a 600 watt max draw unit. Looking online, freezers are typically around the 300 to 500 range, depending on the age of your freezer. These are both newer freezers, this one being newer than this one. We're going to try this one first. I'm fairly confident it will work. And let's see, this is a 6.5 cubic foot freezer. So let's give it a whirl. So again, this is going to tell us how much battery power we have. Turn it on. So right now it's at 100%. So this is the freezer plug for the little freezer. Now unplug it, and we're going to just plug it into the rear back here. And then we're going to turn it on. So you always have to turn your side button on, and this tells how much it's going to be drawing. So it's going to have an initial draw. Right now we can see that it's drawing almost 600 watts. There it is, yep. See, it is kicking in now. See? So the thing with freezers, it's a variable draw because obviously it's going to stay cold. And again, this is in the barn. Today it's going to be like 85 degrees outside. It's already heating up to about 76 right now. So this is having to work to cool stuff down. And this says that right now we have 8 hours of use, 7 to 8. Now, if you open the freezer a lot, you're gonna have less hours because it's working harder to cool stuff down. You know how your parents always yelling at you, close the door to the refrigerator or the freezer? Well, I do that to Eric. He likes to leave it open while he's pulling stuff out. So this is a good reason to keep it closed, because if your power is out, you don't want to overtax your generator battery unit, or in this case, the Ecoflow River Pro. Yes, it is running it. And in case you're wondering, this is proof in the pudding right here. So now the next trial is the bigger freezer, the chest freezer. Put him up there and grab this guy. Uh-oh. We have a problem. I don't know if I can plug him in because I can't. My plug's too short. Why does this have such a short plug? All right, so we have an extension cord here. I don't recommend using extension cords with anything like this because you do have power drop. So it's possible it may not work even with the extension cord. So we're gonna plug this in here. You can see it's lit up, it's getting power. So I'm going to unplug this. Plug them in down here. Yeah. So the overall consensus is smaller freezers, definitely a go. Larger freezers on an extension cord, not so much. But again, extension cord equals voltage loss, and you really can't afford that when you only have 600 watts. All right, we got our burgers on the grill. We're low on pellets, so it's actually all the pellets we have in the house. Normally we keep 2 bags in a metal trash can right there so they're waterproof. But literally almost every single meal I make, I grill, so we go through them pretty fast, and I have not had a chance to get back out to the store to get more. So we're gonna try and skimp on the pellets as much as possible. So these are the famous Suzanne Burgers. Now these can be made with either venison, ground venison, or they can be made with locally grown, farm-raised beef. I do not recommend store-bought beef for these because they just have no flavor. So either contact your local butcher who sells locally grown beef, or find a farmer who's local to you who will be willing to sell you a quarter or a half or a full cow. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna pat out your patties, you're gonna season them with salt and pepper or some seasoned salt, which is what we like. Then you're gonna grill them. So I grill them for about 8 minutes per side, give or take. You have to cook them medium or medium rare even. Do not cook them well done, please. Please do not cook them well done. It is so gross. You have to have them moving just a slight bit. No, I said mooing. No, they're already gone, Sassy. You're fine. Alright, so we're gonna let those cook. I'm gonna get in and make some other stuff. Eric wanted some curly fries, and I'm gonna make some sweet corn. It's in season from, I don't know, California. I don't know where the corn's coming from right now, but it's not Michigan corn yet. Not till like July, I think, we get sweet corn. Can we just take a moment to appreciate this? Yeah, that's absolutely breathtaking. And fun fact, I grill year round, even in negative temperatures. The only time I'm not grilling is in a downpour, only because this is a pellet grill and it cannot handle the rain. It will soak into the pellets and it causes all sorts of damage. I also have my Barrow House cooker over here, which is a charcoal smoker. I really like that as well. The downside is it's a lot more touchy with this humid weather. And so Eric is getting sauteed green beans and mushrooms with garlic salt. Meanwhile, my son and myself are gonna get some not so locally grown sweet corn. Of course you do. And then it's back out to check on our burgers. The grill temperature is up to 400. Usually I like 385 for burgers. If you have venison, you want to cook it a lot faster and a lot hotter. If you have burgers, especially locally grown cattle, and they're higher in fat, you want to cook it a little bit lower and slower to allow those fats to break down and really soak into the meat. I know a lot of you guys like to mix maybe pork or beef in with your venison. We've done that a little bit, but honestly, I just like straight up venison. If you're gonna eat it, you might as well eat it. All right, ooh, looking pretty good. I think we're gonna go ahead and flip it. Yep. So this is the hottest point and this is cooler over here. Man, that is smelling amazing. Let me tell you, locally grown beef, mwah, so good. All right, so they should be about ready. I went and got a new plate. You waiting for something to fall? Oh my gosh, look it! I magically acquired cheese. So my son likes the sliced American style cheese. I cannot stand that. I don't consider that burger food at all. I like Swiss. Swiss is good. And then Erik, hopefully his is done. Might not be. At least it's on a little bit longer. He's got pepper jack. Lower the sound. And this is the Green Mountain Grill. It's okay, it does a decent job, but it's really poorly made. I mean, the legs are pretty shoddy. The first year we bought it, it started rusting everywhere. We called the company and their solution was to send us black paint. I'm not joking, they sent us a can of black paint to spray over top of it all. All right, we're gonna call that a day. There we go. All right, so first we're gonna do Erik's burger. We use a lot of paper plates around here. It saves on dishes. And there's your keto-friendly dinner. All right, we have a burger bun. Right here, this is for my son. He just gets a basic burger. All right, here's how we make a Suzanne burger. We've got our bun here. We've got our specially seasoned medium rare burger. We've got a little bit of chipotle aioli. If you don't have this, you can just take some basic mayonnaise and then sprinkle a little bit of chili powder over top of it. All right, so we're just gonna put a little bit of this on here. Like so. Now there's two different ways you can do this. You can either use a ripe mango. I don't have any ripe ones yet. All right, so the other alternative is to use a nectarine or a peach. Either one will work fine. I prefer nectarines. All right, so we're just gonna slice off the butt end here. Set him aside to eat later. I'm gonna do a nice, 1/4 inch slice. You can do a couple of them if you want to. You'll probably do 2. Okay, so we've got our 2 slices there. Set him aside to eat later. If you have cilantro, definitely put cilantro on there. All my cilantro is gone, so I'm gonna skip that. Instead, I'm gonna go with a little bit of mint, just a little bit. Fresh mint's better. I don't have fresh, so we're going with this. And so here's really what makes it a Suzanne burger. I use homemade pure Michigan maple syrup from our farm. Yes, I have been hoarding it. Don't laugh at me. So this is gonna go right on top. Just like so. Like so. Though I've got several different renditions of burgers that I make depending on what ingredients I have. But this kind of gives you the sweet with the salty with a little bit of the spicy. If you want it a little bit more spicy, you can add a little bit more chili powder. And I think we'll call that a day. So here we have it, the Suzanne Burger. All Suzanne Burgers are made with maple syrup. If you'd like to see other renditions of Suzanne Burgers, put it in the comments down below. Maybe I'll do some other renditions for you.